Yo fam, how you guys doing today? It's your boy Meziabe, the king of Meze Nation. A very quick one. I'm gonna drive home my point with the story of Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, every one of us knows Mark. Even if you don't know Mark Zuckerberg, you know his invention. Mark is the founder, the inventor of the popular social media platform we all know as Facebook. Mark was just like every other student on the campus. He was just like every other student in the classroom, just that he was thinking differently. What Mark needed wasn't in the textbook, so he dropped out of Harvard to invent it. And that invention is what we call Facebook today. Sometimes what we need isn't in the textbook. Yes, sometimes what we need is outside the textbook. So it requires us to think differently to be able to get what we need. Because once we are able to invent that thing which isn't in the textbook, it makes its way into the textbook. The other day, I was on Amazon to purchase some materials. I went to purchase some books on Amazon. Suddenly, I saw a book with a title, How to Make Money from Facebook. At this point, I paused. I picked interest in the book. After a while, I realized something. I realized that it requires your invention. It requires your ability to think out something, for that thing to make its way into the textbook. Just imagine if Mark hadn't dropped out of college, hadn't dropped his textbook to invent Facebook. Facebook wouldn't have made its way to myriads of books out there talking about Facebook. I'm just trying to communicate to you. In those days, while I was a student, a physics student, I was just a good physics student, and we were taught of the universal law of gravitation. Of course, every one of us knows Newton's law. While we were being taught about the theories now that made up the Newton's law, one of the days I asked myself, who is Newton? Who is this Newton? I was even thinking that Newton was an alien kind of being, But something, touched my mind one day to think about it. Who is Newton? I decided to make my research about Newton, only for me to find out that Newton was just a man, who was inspired to invent the theory of gravity through his experience from seeing an apple falling down from the tree. So that was how I shouted. It was really a revelation to me. So this man that created a law that has become universal today was a man who was just inspired by his experience from seeing an apple falling down from the tree. So that was how he invented a law that has become a generational, law that people in other generations are reading. So sometimes what we need isn't what is in the textbook. What we need sometimes is something you can think outside the box to create. Just imagine you thinking outside the box to create an invention that will make its way to the textbook, or something that the next generation will read from or will study about. Sometimes we've got to look inwards, just look inward and know your potentials, things you can do differently, things you can do uniquely. Once you are able to find out your special abilities, once you are able to find out your unique abilities, there is what is called unique selling point. So once you are able to find out your unique selling point, you would be able to, create an invention that will stand the test of time. Today, I'm just inspired to inspire you to think along with me so that we can make the world a better place for all of us. Thank you. I love you. Cheers.